Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of these. Welcome to the stream everyone, welcome back to the WHO Bulletin. This week we've got some weird stuff to talk about, so I'm quite excited about that. Welcome to the stream everyone who's here so far. Monkey in Office, Just Alexa, Gary Donnelly, Eberhart's as well. She's 100% not a Time Lord. I don't think she is either, but I'm kind of interested to see what the crack is with this, because there's a lot of theories going around about this, and I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of discuss and talk about, as well as just generally what's going on with Doctor Who at the minute and what's been happening. So I thought it'd be a fun little one to do. But yes, welcome to the stream everyone, hope you're doing well. Feel free to say hi in chat, I'd love to say hi back to you. Yeah, got a very exciting stream today. It is admittedly a little bit of a clickbaity title, but we're going to talk about the idea of it. So, yes. Another thing as well, which I forgot to get down. Welcome, Doctor Who Media, Adam Hassel, Philip Archer. Another thing I forgot to get down, which we're definitely going to talk about today, is obviously last week we talked about the release of the Fugitive Doctor Figure, which was only just announced last week. But obviously, if you're on Twitter, you may have already seen that a lot of people have already received theirs, including me, who has already unboxed it. Because it came on Friday, and I didn't want to wait that long, even for live stream content, I didn't want to wait that long. So I've unboxed it, and I've got the Fugitive Doctor set here in hand. So we're also going to talk about that. Well, Ruby being her own mother, I'd say, is probably one of the better theories, to be honest. I just want Rusty Davis, BBC, or someone in higher up positions would just say something. What do you mean by that, draw with Cameron Smith? I'd be interested to see what you mean by that. Let's have a conversation about that, because I'm interested in what you think they want to say about it, like announce something or whatever. Scott Lucas, welcome to the stream. Dr. Master got into sixth form today. Well done. That's cool. That's exciting. Skabablity. Oh god, I'm going to butcher everyone's name. I always do this. You're not late, it's only 5 minutes past, that's nothing, that's literally no time at all. I mean, it is literally time, but that's fine. DJ Radio, my crazy theory is she's the master. Interesting, Just Alexa. I think they mean the Millie Gibson stuff. Yeah, that's probably a good shout actually. It's about saying something about Millie Gibson, but we'll get on to that whole thing. First, let's talk about toys, because I like talking about toys. I'm not going to do a video review of these. As you know, I don't make regular YouTube content anymore, simply because I haven't got the time, but I have got lots of exciting projects in the works, and that is not just a sort of broad, vague statement. Next month, as in February, I have a whole new thing launching, which I'm very, very, very excited to show you guys and talk about, but I'm not going to say any more about or give away anything about what it might be. But stay tuned. I've got some exciting news, and there'll be an exclusive announcement for something on one of these live streams. I'll tell you which one it's going to be when we get closer to the time, but one of the Tuesdays in February, something big is going to be announced here on this channel, and you get to see it live if you're there, so that's going to be really exciting. But yeah, generally, not making much content. I have got a video in the works, though, for the YouTube channel, and it's Doctor Who related. I've got another video that I'm working on, I've recorded, and I'm now editing. It's taking a little while because, as I say, I haven't got the time to do it frequently at a good quality, but over time I can do one, so I'm hopefully aiming for like once either every month or once every other month. I'm not quite sure what my video schedule is going to be like this year, but I'm aiming to do something with it, I think. But let's talk about the toys. This will be my official sort of review of it. I really like this set. Like with most exclusive character sets that are a bit more money, you kind of tend to see that they're a bit more... There's a bit more budget going into them. I'm just going to read out more stuff as well. My Fugitive set arrived today. 2 Irish fan here. A Millie Gibson situation. To defend her from being branded a diva, I'm getting big flashbacks to Chris Eccleston in 2005. Yeah, I think it's shit as well, but there'll probably be a reason to it, and I'm hoping that it's being handled professionally. I need to point out as well that the difference with the Chris Eccleston and Millie Gibson situation so far is the Chris Eccleston situation is the BBC actually made the announcement attributing a quote to him that he was tired, but the BBC were the ones, that was the official announcement of him leaving the show. Whereas one, Millie Gibson hasn't left the show after one series, she's still filmed for series 2, she's just got a reduced role, and the whole thing about her being branded a diva comes from news articles which don't really have an official source. So do bear that in mind, and I'm hoping that something official will be announced shortly, but I doubt there's complete radio silence between Russell and Millie. I'm sure there'll be something official going on, and some sort of plan to sort of combat that, but we'll have to wait and see whatever that is. But I don't really think she's a diva. I don't really think there's a case where she's been sacked. I think it's very much a reduced role, and I like to think that's intentional, which is what we're going to talk about today with theories, because a lot of people have had theories about Ruby being like a Time Lord, and Ruby being this, and Ruby being that, so it'll be interesting to kind of explore that. I think it'd be brill if Ruby was this weird anomaly breaking time loop thing that Ruby's her own mum. Yeah, like an Ouroboros kind of like snake eating itself kind of thing, like a never-ending cycle that doesn't make any sense, like a bootstrap paradox version of one person. I loved your ranking vids from the past, they were so fun. Yes, it will be a ranking video as well, so that's exciting. I don't know if I said that before and that's why you're saying that, but yes, I'm working on a ranking video, something from worst to best, which I'm quite excited about. Fugitives out of stock? No, they're almost out of stock though, so if you want to get one, go to the Character Options website now. They are $39.99, and I think once they're gone, they're gone. Have we already talked who is Mrs. Flood? We haven't, but I have some theories. I hope it's not. I mean, I don't have theories, but I have my hopes of who it might or might not be. I hope it's not the Rani. I hope it's not the Master. I hope it's something more unique, or an original character maybe. But let's talk about this before we get rambled on. I think it's a really nice TARDIS. It hasn't got that horrible sort of waxy approach to a lot of the TARDISes from the B&M range. It does feel very good quality. A lot of people could probably judge it. The door does bounce a little bit, admittedly, which isn't great. But I like this. I think it's a good box. It's not accurate. It's not accurate. Because I'm a massive pedantic git, and I know what this prop looks like because when I did my TARDIS exterior ranking, it was one of my favourites. But it's close. It's much closer than they've ever got before. So I respect it for doing that. It looks really nice, and it's a good effort. And I like the fact that they're now doing the wider lamps and not just making smaller, shitter versions. I also love the fact that it comes with an interior card as well. It's not a really great interior card, but it's something, and it sets it apart, and it's made of, like, card instead of just paper, like I do with my custom ones, so that's really nice as well. I feel like there's just effort and time and thought gone into this, and when you've got a little bit more budget with the TARDIS set, you can do that sort of thing. So that's really cool. But the main thing, the main part of this set, let's talk about the Fugitive Doctor, who, obviously because the way cameras focus, I can't really just show up to you like that. Because it doesn't really work. But you've all seen the pictures of it, so I don't really need to go through it. I'm just going to talk about exactly what I can see in front of me. And that is a very, very, very good likeness of Jo Martin, thanks to the head scan that they did. I think it looks really, really close to how she looks in real life. Not that I've met her in real life, but obviously photos of her. It's a very good likeness of her. They seem to have used different coloured plastic for the skin as well, which I think is really good. What they used to do is just print it on a base layer and then paint over it with the appropriate skin colour, but it seems that they've just printed straight onto here, not printed, but like they've produced plastic of the right skin tone colour, so there's not as much paint going onto the face, which means the likeness is a lot stronger. The hair has nice washes through it, different colours on the surface and on the bops, on the roots, on the bops? What the fuck am I talking about? The coat's really nice, it's mostly custom. I think the underneath is from an old Donna figure, but even then, there's a lot of things that have changed. A lot of colour, a lot of paint. My only criticism is it's a little bit flimsy. Like it's got a slight sort of cheap B&M figure feel, which is okay. It's the joints here on the arms that are a little bit too weak, I think, but it's not the end of the world. I've certainly seen worse, and I certainly would hope to see better in the future. But it's not. It's a really good step in the right direction. I mean, the figure is great quality, and it's never going to be 100% there. But I think these figures are more to do with collectors than they are to do with what character used to do, which is just making figures to be played with. I feel like if this was played with, like a lot of the B&M figures, quite vigorously, it would fall apart and break. So that's fine, but I do love this figure. I'm not going to say anything more really, because I've said every original thought there is about this figure. I feel like everyone's kind of already talked about it, and obviously it comes with a division gun as well, which is really cool. This is proper solid plastic. It's not flimsy. It doesn't bend. And the paint apps are really nice as well. Looks like a proper version of the prop, and that's really respectable. They didn't even need to include the gun, so I'm really glad they did. But yeah, without retreading over what we talked about last week when we were looking at the actual promo images, it's a great set to have in hand. I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad I bought it. It's a really good set, and I'm hoping that in time they'll bring out more versions. They talked about doing a variant of the Fugitive Doctor with her signature sort of small glasses, so that would be nice. But yeah, no, I think there's a difference in the character models now. They're more, they have this sort of cheap figure look, but they aren't built to be played with as much anymore. Like, I used to play with those toys loads when I was a kid, the werewolf and stuff like that, but they were like really rigid. They were really nicely put together where they wouldn't fall apart that easily. The B&M ones especially, but that one to an extent, but more so the B&M ones just fall apart like nothing, which is really sad. Rank your old videos. God, there's too many. I've got honestly about 1,000+ videos on this channel, which isn't inherently bad, but there's just like a lot that's been unlisted or privated. Not for any particular reason, literally just because I didn't want everything on there when I was applying for jobs and stuff. But for the most part, the videos that are on there are just pretty bog standard ones. I mean, there's a lot of good memories in there, a lot of the ones I'm proud of. You always sort of cringe, I think, and myself as someone who's a bit of a perfectionist, but also as someone who's been around a while in terms of content creation, you get to a point where you actually do sort of take a step back and go, fucking hell, this is embarrassing. But it wasn't at the time, and that's the thing you need to remember. It's like, I look back at my Series 11 Doctor Who reviews and think, Jesus Christ, that's awful. They genuinely look terrible. There's no lighting, there's no respect for like cinematography or anything. And not that there's much fucking respect for cinematography here, but at least it's lit. It's like I've got lighting in front of me and behind, and I know and understand that. And this was only 5 years ago. I could have done a little bit better, but it's good. It's still fine. Just the light of the computer is pretty much the only thing illuminating me, and it changed from video to video, so not very much consistency. But I guess what I mean. I judge a lot of my old stuff, and I go back and I'm quite critical of it. So yeah, it's a weird one. I don't like to keep stuff up on my channel that long. But I'm not sure really. It's one of those weird ones. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's one of those weird ones, and yeah, no, it's nice. Dear me, God, I'm now looking through my old videos, and it's just like such a weird sight. You see me grow up. Very strange. Very strange image. I haven't changed that much in the last couple years, though. I think that's when I sort of stopped changing. Do you think the TARDIS should have a pet? No. It's good to be able to criticise your younger stuff. A little bit. I think you have to sort of be, as a content creator, you always have to be, because you always have to be growing and getting better at things. This is why, and I think a lot of people make judgments on this, sweeping understandings of like, oh, I don't make content because I don't want to make content anymore. No, I do want to make content. The problem is, I'm too much of a perfectionist now. If I tried to make content in the same way that I used to, I'd be sick of it. I'd be done. I'd actually hate it. Like, I'd be really not very good at doing it now, especially on a regular basis, because I wouldn't be able to maintain it, and I'd just completely burn out. I used to be able to make loads of content because I didn't put that much time into it, in all honesty. Like, you can kind of tell with some of the older stuff, but as time goes on, you get better. But I think my standards go up the less frequent videos tend to be. So I like that, and there's definitely a lot of stuff. I've got stuff to post on here. Like, I did a Twitch stream a while ago where we played Destiny of the Doctors, and we played some Doctor Who Flash games, and we had a few things like that, so that was kind of exciting to do, and I've got those live streams ready to be edited and put up here at some point, but that's on the back burner for now. And if I don't do them, I'll just post the whole live streams. I don't really care that much, but yeah, it'll be fun. The BBC Doctor Who YouTube channel posted a video today of the intro sequences. I think it is terribly edited and missing some. Really? I haven't actually seen that one. Oh, there we go. So I can't play much of it, but what's it missing? I feel like it's got the key ones in there. You got the 80s ones there. Yeah. Trial of a Time Lord. Yeah. Time in the Rani. So the 7th Doctor Era 1. TV movie. Yeah. 2005. 2006. And 2000. Oh no, maybe. Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, and they have. They've got like 2006, and then the 2009 one, the HD one, Series 5, Matt Smith's ones, and then the Snowmen one, the one that's horrible from the 2013, Deep Breath, Capaldi one, Jodie Whittaker's, the anniversary ones, and then the Christmas special one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything by the looks of it. What do you think's missing? Because I mean, I might just be not thinking of it. With money now in the show, do you think the chameleon circuit should be exercised? Definitely. I think there's definitely a story to be told at some point about the chameleon circuit. We did it a little bit in Classic Who, and I know it takes away from the iconography of the TARDIS, but that's something that's so distilled into Doctor Who lore. It would be really cool to play around with it at some point, as would exploring the TARDIS. But we'll have to see. I'm not really sure exactly how they do this, but I like it. Does K9 count as a pet? Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a dog, isn't it? I mean, it's like a robot dog, and it does stuff for you. So it's kind of I guess it's a pet, technically, but I guess it's a bit of a stretch, but it sort of works. No, I really dislike the new title sequence. See, I'm really torn on the new title sequence. I don't think it's the worst we've had. I think the visuals, to an extent, are gorgeous. I think the actual visuals of it are great. It looks really, really good. A lot of people are pulling that apart, but I really like it. I love the way the time vortex looks. I love the sort of things in the background. I love the way the TARDIS moves and the way the camera works. The only thing I don't really like is the logo appearing on screen. Feels very much just like a PNG, and then the BBC logo is absolutely massive. So I don't love that. But other than that, even the logo's growing on me a bit. I don't even mind the 3D logo, because I feel like it's sort of... It is a 3D rendering. It is basically the PNG that we see. It's more the way it comes in. I don't mind how it actually looks on screen. You know what's wrong with it? It's the lighting on the logo isn't reflecting, the metal on the logo isn't reflecting the vortex around it. And I think that's the issue. It doesn't sell that the logo's actually in that space. There's no shadow, there's no reflection, there's no movement in the shiny parts, which there would be if the vortex was moving past it. And the way it appears just kind of out of nowhere, really. But I like the music. The music's growing on me. I wasn't a big fan of the breathing bits of the title sequence, which are very new and very weird. But I actually don't mind. Now that I've had a bit of time to sort of get used to it, I actually really don't mind it. And again, I don't mind the shortened version of the title sequence. A lot of people are quite up in arms about that. It still doesn't feel quite right, but it's something I think we'll get used to in time. The text seems to come on too early, and the Doctor Who logo doesn't appear when it goes dun dun dun. That bit happens when the title of the episode appears now, which is very weird. And I think that's a fair assessment. They've not included it's edited weirdly. They haven't got the titles of the episodes on there. It's very strange. I kind of hope they change it a little bit going into the next series. I hope they take some of the criticism on board, especially the way the logo looks. Just make it look a bit nicer. But it's all right. We'll survive. It's just something that could in theory be better. But yeah. Oh well. It said all title sequences. Peter Capaldi had a rock sequence, and there was some Christmas variations. Yeah, I guess it's some small variations though. But I see what you mean. It would be good to have the Christmas one in there. Maybe the Twice Upon a Time one with the Christmas stuff. But the rock one, I don't really care about. It's more of a theme difference than it is a graphical difference. Russell mentioned saying some bits are good. It just wasn't put together the best, and I'm not the biggest fan of the colourings. I think the colours are nice in the new title sequence, and I think the opening I think it's just the only visual problem I have is the logo. And it doesn't feel like it interacts with the space around it in terms of the reflections and stuff. It doesn't feel dynamic, it doesn't feel like it's in the same space. Which is fair, so I think it's a fair criticism. I think the TARDIS looks gorgeous. And the colours look really nice. I love the way it sort of skims the vortex and sort of fires off it a little bit. I really like it, and I think the shots are really, like, nice. I just sort of wish the theme was not better, because the thing is, I like this title sequence and I like the theme separately, but together I'm not a fan of the package. But it's like, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because they should work together if I like both of them, and they're made for each other, so it should work. It just doesn't really for me. I don't know. What classic monsters would you like to see in New Who? Oh god, classic monsters that haven't been done yet. I feel is a really difficult one because they've mostly been done by now. Dear, that's really difficult, that one. I don't know what monsters I'd even want. That's the thing, is like, if there was like a good example, right? Classic Doctor Who monsters. Like, is there a good one that sort of needs to come out? The Rutan, I'd love to see a Rutan. Let's have a look at what we've got. This is all in order of appearance as well, which is great. I don't think we need anything else from the Hartnell era. Toymaker was kind of cool, obviously. Let's bring him back. I'd like, you know, I would quite like to see the Yeti back in some capacity. I know they were kind of done. They're sort of a thing of like the great intelligence, aren't they? But I really like the idea of doing that. I think it's a cool idea. I'm not sure beyond that. Let me have a look. Let me keep looking. Silurians have been done, obviously. Axons, I've not seen Claws of Axos, so I actually don't know much about that. Alpha Centauri has been brought back. Sea Devils have been brought back. You need Drashigs. I'd love to see a Drashig, just in some capacity. I don't know how or why they do it, but it'd be kind of fun. I think the Wirren would be quite cool. The Ark in Space is quite a well-renowned story, and I think you could definitely do something really body horror-esque with the Wirren, especially taking it in a completely new direction, because the graphics of that old one is a bit naff, but the concept's really cool. As I said, Rutan would be really cool. I'd love to see the other side of that. We've heard that brought up in New Who before, and that would be kind of cool to see. I don't know, to be honest. Fucking Jaggeroth, a sequel to City of Death, that'd be cool. Naimon would be kind of cool, maybe, but I don't know. I need to watch more Classic Who, man. I don't know. Some really interesting ones here. Garm, that'd be cool. Merca. We need more weird ones, don't we? But you have to admit, there's not many classic Doctor Who monsters that haven't actually been brought back. That are really, really classic, that really stand out, other than like the Candyman. But like, you can't really do the Candyman again, can you? I wouldn't mind seeing the Hemivores from Curse of Fenric. They were kind of cool, and they were very modern Who-esque anyway. But I just don't know. I think there's a lot of classic ones from Hartnell era that, if anything, those are the ones. Hartnell and Troughton era, like the black and white era of the show, could be brought back. Like the Yetis would be kind of cool. Mechanoids have obviously been done in the Dalek series, but that could kind of be cool, I guess, maybe. Zarbi, maybe, yeah. Some people are saying. I don't know. I don't really know about that. Let's have a look. Hello, SK Collective. Hello, Alternate 13th. How you doing? Dan Ben, welcome. A lot of people want Omega, but they might not have licensed for him. It's possible we could get Omega, but I think we should try and do something different again, like walk in a different direction. Actually, let's share my screen so you guys can actually see what we're doing here. Let's have a look. So I mean, these are what we've really got to work with, haven't we? I mean, it's not really much, is it? Oh dear. Let's move that over here. This is what we're working with. I mean, I don't know half of these. It has to be admitted. Like, I actually don't know many of the classic Who traditional monsters, but like, some have been adapted but not directly adapted. I mean, you look at stuff like the Sensorites, for example, who, okay, haven't been directly adapted at all and brought into New Who, but the Ood are sort of like a similar vibe, aren't they? They're sort of like a modern version of that. And that was always kind of talked about as well. That was always the intention as well, I think, to make the Ood look like Sensorites. But we've had the Daleks, we've had the Thals, technically. I think, have we? No, we might not have had Thals, I don't know. And then we had nothing else. Toymaker, of course. Cybermen, Macra, Yeti, no, we haven't had that in New Who. Ice Warriors. We've had, obviously, the Time Lords, the Autons, Nestine Consciousness, Silurians. Alpha Centauri we've had in New Who. The Sea Devils we've had in New Who. There's a Drashig for you. Sontarans we've had in New Who, obviously. Zygons we've had in New Who. And then we just sort of have nothing for a long time. Velians we've had in New Who. Naimon is like, again, it's that sort of thing of like adapting something without making it exactly. They do mention the Naimon in the God Complex because it's a Minotaur and it's like a distant cousin of the Naimon or something. So there's another one for you. Mara, again, as you say, will be kind of cool, but hasn't been done. Snakes have been done, but it's not the same thing, is it? You know, like, we haven't had the Garm, but we did have the, whatever you call them. Oh god, why is it gone from my head? The thing that was in Series 13, oh my god. Why is it completely gone from my head? The Merca. Has the Merca been done? Was that not in Legend of the Sea Devils? Am I not making that up? Alpha Centauri was in Empress of Mars, yeah. A very brief cameo, but by the original voice actor, which was really cool. I think they said Alpha Centauri cameo in Empress of Mars is probably one of the best connections to Classic Who I've ever seen. Lupari, that's it. Carvanista. Like, they're sort of dogs, aren't they? Standing up dogs that are warriors. Same as the Garm, really. I don't know. I don't know beyond that. I really don't. But then we come to, again, New Who, and it's sort of like, would we see any of these back again? Gelf, I don't think, could be done again unless you really do something cool with the idea of gas. Slitheen, I wouldn't mind seeing back. I think that'd be kind of cool. The Reapers, again, would be kind of cool, but not going to be done, is it? Sycorax fucking just showed up anywhere. Catcan, Grask, Werewolf, no need. Clockwork Droids have been brought back in Deep Breath. It was Ho Shen in Legend of the Sea Devils. What is that? Oh. Right. Why? I don't really know about this one. Why didn't they just call that the Merca? Because it basically was a Merca. I don't know. Demon's kind of cool. Ood, again, have been done to death at this point. I love seeing them, just for that sort of universal like connectivity. Like, if someone's going to have some sort of handyman slave, it's cool to have an Ood, because it sort of connects it to that universe, doesn't it? Absorbaloff, I would love to see an Absorbaloff again. I know it's a joke, but I would actually love it. And I'd love Russell to just do that as a homage to one of his like lesser popular episodes, but still really cool. Rachnos again, a cool one. Jadoon have been brought back again a few times. Carrier Knights, fucking let's ignore that. Pig Slaves are from the Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. Weeping Angels, of course, have been done to death now. The Malmuth, not seen much of them. Toclafane again, story specific. Zotchi, we haven't seen many of those since, but we've seen it in End of Time. We had the Vinvochi, didn't we? Heavenly Host again, no need for them. Adipose, not really a need. Pyroviles, not really a need. Half, Vesperform. Vashta and Arada need to come back. I can't believe they haven't been done yet. Again, you know, we had them once and such a creative villain. Ugh. These don't need to come back. The Flood would be cool, but again, it's sort of such a strong concept that I think doing it again would kind of lessen the original. Atraxi, Star Whale, Saturnians, I don't know what that is. The Graphias, of course, from the Van Gogh episode, but that can't really be done again, can it? Silence. They would be cool to bring back, the Silence. I would hope that they could be done again, but I just don't think they ever will, because it, again, era specific really, wasn't it? But I kind of like the idea of it, and I think they are cool, so Siren wouldn't really work, Gangers wouldn't really work. Headless Monks maybe, but they were kind of boring. Tesselector, let's stop doing the Tesselectors. Peg Dolls are weird, again story specific. Handbots, again story specific. Minotaurs again, so it could be a distant cousin of the Naimon. Kind of a cool monster, admittedly. Tyvolis, it's the same character as these aliens have appeared again, which I really like. That's the Moffat era did a few of these. They bring a character in and then they sort of reference it a few years later with no warning. Like the character in Before the Flood and Under the Lake was from the same species, which I think is cool. Androzani trees. Interesting. I didn't know that had... Is that any connection to the caves of Androzani? I presume it is. Otherwise they wouldn't call it that. That's interesting. I don't remember there being a connection to Caves of Androzani, but I haven't seen Caves of Androzani, so I wouldn't actually know. But it's also quite a poor Christmas special, so again, I don't really know. The Kala Cyborg. This race of people, that war with the cyborgs and thing, I think that would be cool to see again. You could definitely do something more with that. The Shakri, fucking please never again with the Shakri. Snowman, again, great intelligence. It's the same way. The Snowman was sort of, instead of doing the Yeti, really, wasn't it? Clever way of doing it with the great intelligence, and I like that. Queen of Years, cool. The Mummy, back at 10. Again, story specifics. One's Androzani Major, one's Androzani Minor. What? Androzani Major. Okay. Twin planet of Androzani Minor. But when... Oh, Androzani Major is the one... They used Harvest Rangers to effect. It's just... The Doctor the Widow on the Wardrobe, was that based on Androzani fucking what? Oh no, it's not. But the crew of the mission are from Androzani Major. Weird. So it kind of connects it, but not really. Again, love stuff like that. That's really cool. I completely forgot that was even a thing. The Vigil, these are all boring, the ones from Aka 10. It's a cool setting, but you can never bring them back, could you? Hyder, cool. Time Zombies, so boring. Such a dull design. Cool, don't get me wrong, but such a boring design. Not as scary as I think it thought it was. Mr. Sweet was weird. The Whisper Men, again, kind of cool. Robot Knights. The Teller. Skullvox Blitzer. Spider Germ. Ooh, the moon creature. Foretold. The boneless Cantrefari. Again, like, the Foretold would be cool, but again, it's story specific. The Teller definitely could be used again. The boneless would be interesting, but again, I think it's that midnight effect where it works best when you don't know what it is. Like Cantrefari, the thing from last Christmas, that's kind of cool. Soft snake creature. Ghosts. The ghosts again were cool, but only worked with the presence of the Fisher King. That was only a specific thing for that story. But I love it. Very original, very cool. The Maya were... That is probably one of the stupidest things ever really introduced to Doctor Who. And I don't mean that in just a sort of generic sort of flashby way. The Maya would, like... I remember when they were announced, they were this like big thing. It was like, the Maya are all about... the biggest, scariest warrior race in the galaxy. They appeared in one story, and that was it. And then we had the Stenza in Series 11, which were exactly the same thing and will never appear again. Grunt, that's kind of fucking... that was messed up, I don't like that. The Sandmen were kind of cool. Wolf person... yeah, there's again, like, alien creatures and stuff. Shawl of Winter Harmony, that's kind of... yeah, they were kind of cool. The water creature was kind of cool. Emoji Bot's fine. Vardy, fine. Thames River Monster, yeah, let's bring them back. Dryads, ugh, forgot about these. Yeah, there wasn't really many monsters in Series 10, was there? Like original ones. The monks were kind of cool, but they have been done, we don't need to see them again. Eaters of Light, terrible, boring, awful. Glass avatars again, don't really need to be done again. The Stenza I think would be a cool one to return to, because there's a cool idea in there. They just need to be written better. I like the idea of a warrior race that steal people's teeth. It's kind of weird, but it's very Doctor Who-y and it kind of works. But we need to see it brought back again. Remnants, boring. Sniper bots, boring. Mutant spiders, boring. Pating, okay. Cool, we could do the Pating again if you want, but who really wants to reference the Sarunga Conundrum again? Thajarians would be cool. I still can't believe that Power of the Doctor came and went, and we didn't have a scene where the Thajarians sort of stood looking the Doctor on as she regenerated, like, in any way. There were so many good ideas for sequels to Series 11 episodes that never happened, and it will always really annoy me that we never did anything like that. Like, the Thajarians, like, I love the fact that, like, in the Demons of the Punjab, the whole story revolves around the Doctor going, this alien race, they're all assassins. They are all assassins. And they're all bad people. And she makes that judgment, and they turn out to be doing a good thing. And that's really cool as a good twist. Now, if they appeared again in the Jodie era, and she was like, oh shit, Thajarians, they're cool, and they're actually assassins, and it's the other way around, that would be great. And I would really like that to be a thing. And the other one I like is, why the frig did we never get another King James story? Like, we had an established dynamic there with a really good actor who was really perfect for Doctor Who in that sense. And we had an opportunity almost to bring him back and do a Great Fire of London story. Now, there's still options to do that, obviously. I'd love to see them do that. I'd love it to be done at some point. I don't think Russell will do it, but The Witchfinders is a good story, and King James is played brilliantly by Alan Cummings, so I think it would be really great to see some sort of... not Great Fire of London, what am I talking about, idiot? Guy Fawkes, the Gunpowder Plot, that's what I meant. The Gunpowder Plot, with King James, because he was the king, that's who they were trying to kill at the time. Guy Fawkes and King James and the Doctor having to work with someone that they didn't like. I mean, if it was Geordie, for example, and in like series 12 or 13, they had a Gunpowder Plot episode where they had to reluctantly work with King James to make history happen or something. I think that would have been kind of cool, because they don't like him, and Jodie didn't even talk to him at the end of the story, and fell out with him because he killed someone, and he killed the Morax. So I thought it was just kind of cool to do something like that, but you know, it's alright. Kablam robots could definitely be done again. I think that's the one that could have been brought back in Jodie's era in itself, and never was. I think if any of Chibnall's monsters wanted to sort of make a big return in the future and have some sort of presence, they almost needed to appear more in their own era. I think the Kablam robots definitely could have done for like very easily. The Morax, they were cool, but nothing really that amazing. Did I ever watch Merlin? No, I haven't watched Merlin as a show, to be honest. It wasn't really something I'd ever done, but I like the idea of it. Ribbons of the Seven Stomachs, Flesh Moth, The Solid Tract. I love It Takes You Away, but all of these are very specific to that story. The Ux being like some sort of ethereal beings of like force ability. That it would have been cool to incorporate them in the Flux story in some capacity. I mean, these beings they're literally like Jedi, for fuck's sake. We never did anything with them. Kasavin never went anywhere, but were really cool. The Dregs, boring. Hive Mother 3, boring. Skithra, again, like a cousin to the Rachnos. I kind of wish they'd just mentioned that when it happened, because I think the Skithra one, the Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, was actually a really cool concept, and I think the Skithra looked really cool. Praxis, boring. Chagaska, I don't even remember that, but that's kind of cool. Immortal Gods, yeah, we've seen them before. Timeless Child, yep. Siberium, it's kind of cool as well. Nothing from Series 13 or beyond, obviously, there, which is really kind of annoying, but respect to, I mean, whoever's updating this website hasn't updated it in a while. It was a bit of a shame, but it's a cool website, I like it. But again, there's your big long answer of I'm not sure what monsters we want to return, but that's kind of the gist of it. So let's talk about the whole Ruby thing. So I know a lot of people have been sort of waffling about this, and I kind of want to discuss this. What do you guys think is the case that's going to happen with, right? So we're not going on a whole thing of like, okay, has this happened to Millie Gibson, or has this happened to Millie Gibson? Has she been sacked? Has she been laid off? Is she a diva? I don't care about any of that shit. I'm caring more about the story, because whatever's happened, Millie Gibson is in Season 2. So I'm kind of interested to see what people think about where her story's going. We have to obviously sit back and go, you know, whatever happens with her as an actress, she's in the next series. So what's going to happen with her? A lot of people have got very different theories, and the wildest theory I've seen, which I've kind of launched this whole live stream off the back of, is the idea that Ruby is a Time Lord, and that Ruby will regenerate into the new companion. A lot of people have been sort of predicting that the new companion will also be called Ruby, and if so, that's the angle they'd sort of spin on it. I think a lot of people are getting this from the fact that they haven't actually announced officially the new companion yet, despite the fact that she's been very clearly leaked and has very clearly been seen filming Doctor Who. But there's no official confirmation of her involvement with the series yet. So there's obviously potential things there where it could be like, oh, maybe they don't want to reveal her name yet. Because if then they reveal the actor without revealing the name, then it sort of makes people think anyway, well, why haven't they? And then it sort of brings things up, whether that's true or not. It may be better to completely ignore it, or maybe there's a reason in that, I don't know. But a lot of people have been theorising that she's Ruby, that she's a Time Lord of some capacity or something like that. Now, I don't know the validity in this, I don't know the truth in that, I don't think that'll be the case, but it would be interesting. And the only reason I say it would be interesting is because I think the one thing I'm kind of exhausted with, and I don't mind it to an extent, the one thing I'm kind of exhausted with is it being like young companions from the modern world. I just don't really like the whole thing of I don't hate it, you know. Again, I'm excited to see what Ruby's going to bring, but it's very much like the modern day companion, and I get that, but part of me would be really, really excited to see a companion from the past, a companion from the future, or a companion that is an alien altogether. I'm not saying the alien needs to be a Time Lord, but obviously Romana worked, and that was a really cool, different dynamic for Doctor Who in that era. Romana is a fan favourite. So, you know, why can't we have an intellectual equal to the Doctor as in the way of someone who is a Time Lord and has this advanced knowledge of history and time and all that sort of thing? I don't necessarily think it needs to be Ruby, but on a side note, I would love to see another Time Lord companion at some point. I would love to see another alien Time Lord. I'd love to see another alien companion. I'd love to see a past companion from the Victorian era. I think it was a big shame we missed out on that with Clara, because that could have been really cool. But yeah, I think there's a lot of debates to be had about it. I'm personally a fan of going with something a bit different that isn't just another sort of Earth companion, but I have a feeling that will be the case. Now, a lot of people are obviously guessing what's going to go one way or another, but Ruby has been filming for season 2. I would assume that it gets, at some point it gets revealed that Ruby is Kate's daughter, and not only that maybe highly classified unit files get revealed, and it makes a public protest against unit. You see, I get what you mean. My problem with that is it sort of feels like, would Kate Stewart as a character be a person to completely abandon her child? Given how inspired she was by her own father, would it be right for her to completely abandon her child when she's willy-nilly picking people up to work at unit? Like, I don't think it just doesn't fit Kate's character, you know, to have a child and then not, I mean, obviously we know Kate is a mum, but like, not abandoned where the children don't even know where they came from and they were just left at a church. Like, we're assuming that Kate Stewart at some time in 2005, 2006 dropped off her own child at a random church. It just seems out of character, unless there's like a specific reason for that. But I don't want it to be like a whole thing of like the way Star Wars went with it being like, whose parents is she? I like the idea of the parents being a mystery, but I don't want it to be a character we know. I don't want it to be her parents be like Kate Stewart. I don't want her parents to be the Doctor. I think if anything, it needs to be her mum is herself, and she is just in this infinite time loop, or some other way around. I don't know, but it just, yeah. Did have Victoria from the Victorian era. That's true, but again, like, how long ago was that? I'm saying we want something new that tries these things out, you know? Just to make it a bit different. I understand that you have to see it through a modern person's eyes, because since the beginning of New Who, we've had to use the companion's perspective as a sort of a door into the Doctor's world, and we're definitely going to get that. I think actually it would be far too complicated for Ruby to be a Time Lord going into the first season for a new audience, but I kind of like the idea of there being some sort of connection there. But then at the same time, it might just be a case of what happened with Martha, where there was one full series as a companion, and then they're in half of the next series, but not really as a main companion, but like not on bad terms with the Doctor or anything. I don't think she has a boyfriend in the filming, does she? Because there's like a male character who she's with. Grown and created as a device. Yeah, cool. Like, brought in from some alien or something like that. I want some weird alien explanation for her not having parents, you know, because it's sort of, it would be cool and it would be interesting. Does she need to be a Time Lord? No. No. But we'll see. Yeah, and that's the thing. We did clearly see a woman in a robe carrying Ruby to the door and dropping her off. So it's just like kind of like, who is that woman? But then we've already got two mysterious women in the new era already. We've got obviously Mrs. Flood, who is a mysterious character, and then we've also got, was it Susan Twist, who plays two different characters in the specials. She played alongside Isaac Newton as like one of the cleaners, and then appeared in the bar as a background character who had a line of dialogue, which is interesting. I feel like if you were going to put her in the background, you wouldn't do it as someone who, I don't know, it's one of those things, for me, there's something up with that one, with Susan Twist. People are sort of wanting to, I get people are wanting to sort of look by that, but I do think there's something in it. You know, it's weird that she appeared 2 episodes before as a maid next to Isaac Newton, had like significant lines of dialogue, and then you've got her appearing looking like some sort of punk or something in the bar, and she's asking for, was it Gaudet or something like that, which is a Latin Christmas carol thought to be composed in the 16th century. There just seems something intentionally weird about that, you know? A character who appeared in basically 2 episodes back to back, if you don't include the giggle, you know, it appeared in Wild Blue Yonder with a line of dialogue, and appeared in the Christmas special, Church on Ruby Road, with dialogue, and the dialogue in the Church on Ruby Road was a weird bit of dialogue that didn't really land as a joke, just kind of made a bit of a weird feeling around it. But I don't think it's one of those things where there's going to be anything massive to it, but it's just one of those interesting things. If Susan Twist appears in the show again, I'll tell you now, she's got to be someone, because I don't feel like they do that. It's one of those things where it's like really cool to sort of set it up in advance. Like in a couple years' time, if that character appears again, and we're like, holy shit, it's her. There's a whole thing. Yeah, and there's so many things we could do. Using other actors who have appeared previously make the actress who played Susie in Torchwood as a villain in the new series. Yes, I know that, but the thing is, this is a character that's been reused 2 episodes apart. It's all for recasting like characters. We did it with Karen Gillan, Peter Capaldi, with what's the bloody name now? The one who plays Gwen Cooper. I think it's one of those. No. The actress's name is Susan Twist. It's not the Susan. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's really cool to see this actress being brought back time and time again. Very strange, but I'm kind of here for it, and I kind of like the idea of it. Eve Miles, that's it. She was recast. Obviously, she was in Series 1 and then appeared in Torchwood. But this is 2 episodes apart. It just feels very convenient, unless they just needed someone and she was there. But I doubt they would have filmed these that close together, and I don't know, it just, something is weird about it. And the fact that she has lines of dialogue in both and isn't just a background actor, I don't know. What if Ruby was stolen from her parents, and the woman who dropped her off wasn't her mum, but the woman who stole her or helped steal her? I would think that's fair enough. I genuinely think that could be the case. It could be a fact that that person there is Ruby, and it might not be her, like Ruby is her own mum, but Ruby maybe stole herself from something and left her at the church because the truth was too terrible, maybe. You know, and I think that's interesting. Interesting. Crucial moments for both the 14th and 15th Doctor as bollocks. Never met the Doctor. Never been in the same shot as the Doctor. I think there's a lot of random theories that always happens with Doctor Who. I think you need to take everything with a pinch of salt, especially the thing with Susan Twist. It could just be a case of reusing the actor. I don't believe that's entirely true. I think I'm kind of interested to see where that's going to go, but I like the idea that it's something. And obviously Mrs. Flood is very obviously going to be something, but yeah. So, we're going to wrap up this live stream now. We obviously stream every single Tuesday from 7 o'clock here on YouTube, and I'm really, really glad you could all join in today. Very, very nice little live stream talking about general theories and stuff. Hopefully we'll get some big news in the next few weeks or so. That will give us something more to talk about. I have some very, very exciting announcements for YouTube very, very soon. Obviously we're live streaming every single Tuesday from 7 o'clock with the WHO Bulletin, but I do have a new video coming up in the next month or so, I would think, and I have got a very, very exciting project to be launched this month, which I'm very, very excited to tell you all about. But in the meantime, obviously make sure you subscribe, notifications on, because when it is announced, it's going to be announced on one of these Tuesday live streams exclusively for the first time, so do keep an eye on that. In the meantime though, don't go anywhere just yet. If you are interested to see what happens next, we don't just stream on YouTube, we stream over on Twitch as well. And as soon as we finish this live stream, we'll be going live on Twitch, playing a brand new video game. Well, not a brand new video game, a game that's about 15 years old, but a game that I have a lot of fun with, and it'll be a new playthrough of Batman Arkham Asylum, a game that I grew up playing, absolutely adore to bits, and it's something that I'm very, very excited to revisit and start playing again. I'm assuming I might be really good at it, but we're going to try and play it on the hardest setting and see how far we get. I'm very excited about it, so feel free to join. Click the link in the chat, head over to twitch.tv/gbsheard, drop me a follow, and as soon as this live stream finishes on here, we'll be going live over on Twitch, so stay tuned and we'll be there. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock here on YouTube with the WHO Bulletin. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Join us over on Twitch for the next few hours if you want to see me fail at playing Batman. Have a lovely evening.